Hi, I'm Alex, and if you want clearer, smarter money habits, hit like so more people find this. Comment below. Have you ever felt stuck, unsure what to invest in first or what to do next? Subscribe for honest, step-by-step personal finance guidance made for real life, not Wall Street professionals. Today we're fixing the biggest investing mistake. Most people invest in the wrong order and pay dearly. It's not about picking hot stocks, crypto, or trendy ETFs. The real issue is sequence and priorities. The wrong sequence can quietly cost you tens of thousands over a lifetime, without any obvious mistake. I've watched people buy investments while ignoring the steps that protect their wealth and reduce risk first. Imagine pouring water into a bucket with holes. That's investing while your financial foundation is leaking. Most people chase exciting returns while leaving critical basics undone, making their future fragile and stressful. I'll walk you through the smartest order to invest your money safely, efficiently, and with confidence. Follow this order and you'll maximize returns, minimize avoidable risk, and stop the constant money anxiety. Some steps will surprise you, especially employer matching and health savings accounts, so stay with me. First, you must understand why the wrong order is devastating, even if your investments perform well. Building wealth is like building a house. You fix the foundation and roof before choosing fancy fixtures. Yet many investors buy trendy assets before paying high-interest debt or building savings, which is backwards. Every month you keep 22% credit card debt. Your money works against you, compounding losses. Every month you ignore employer matching, you leave free money on the table without noticing. And investing in taxable accounts before tax-advantaged ones is like donating part of returns to the IRS. The foundation begins with an emergency fund, giving you a safety net and calm decision-making. This isn't boring. It prevents panic selling when medical bills, car repairs, or surprises hit suddenly. Start by saving your first $1,000 quickly, creating a psychological buffer for smaller emergencies. Then build toward one full month of expenses so a setback doesn't instantly become a crisis. Next, work up to 3 months. Breaking it into milestones makes the goal feel achievable. Studies consistently show people with even modest emergency savings report higher financial well-being than those without. A small buffer may not change everything, but the peace of mind changes how you behave. Doing. After your emergency fund begins, eliminate high-interest debt before serious investing, because math demands it. High-interest debt means credit cards and loans above roughly 8%, depending on conditions and rates. Credit card debt is especially destructive because it grows faster than most reasonable investment returns. Paying high-interest debt is a guaranteed return equal to the rate, with zero market risk involved. If you owe $5,000 at 22%, minimum payments can cost thousands in interest over several years. Every dollar you pay toward that balance effectively earns a guaranteed 22% return, which is incredible. To pay debt efficiently, list balances, interest rates, and minimums, then prioritize the highest rate. That's the debt avalanche. Mathematically best, though some choose snowball for motivation and momentum. Important exception. If your employer matches retirement contributions, get the full match immediately. Employer matching is an instant guaranteed return, sometimes 50% to 100%, which is nearly unbeatable. Even with debt, contributing enough to capture the match often makes sense because it's free money. Example, a 50% match up to 6% of pay is a huge immediate boost. Contribute only enough for the match, then redirect extra cash toward destroying high-interest debt fast. Some plans have vesting schedules. Learn the rules, but the match usually outweighs waiting. With a starter emergency fund, reduced high-interest debt, and full match captured, your foundation strengthens dramatically. Next comes tax optimization, where many people lose massive money quietly without realizing what happened. Many jump straight into taxable brokerage accounts and skip the accounts designed to protect growth. Tax-advantaged accounts compound faster because you avoid annual taxes on dividends and gains along the way. Over decades, that tax drag can cost hundreds of thousands, even with identical investments and returns. A tax-advantaged path can build far more wealth than a taxable path, simply due to compounding efficiency. Guis. That long-term difference is why order matters more than picking the perfect fund in many cases. So, after the match, prioritize maxing accounts like IRAs before adding money to taxable investing. IRAs often provide lower fees, broader choices, and more control than many employer plans. Many 401k plans offer limited funds and higher fees that slowly eat your returns every year. With an IRA, you can choose low-cost index funds or ETFs instead of expensive 1% options. For 2025, you can contribute up to $7,000 annually to an IRA, or $8,000 if you are 50 or older. After fully funding your IRA, return to your employer-sponsored 401k and begin contributing more than only the matched amount. Now we reach a critical decision that influences taxes for decades. Choosing between traditional and Roth retirement accounts. Traditional accounts reduce your taxable income today, but you will owe ordinary income taxes when withdrawing funds later. Roth accounts require paying taxes up front, but all qualified withdrawals during retirement are completely tax-free. If your income and marginal tax rate are high today, traditional accounts usually provide stronger short-term benefits. Younger earners or lower tax brackets often benefit more from Roth accounts, while current tax rates remain relatively low. Many investors choose to split contributions between traditional and Roth accounts to hedge against future tax uncertainty. Next is the Health Savings Account, one of the most powerful yet consistently overlooked investment tools available today. HSAs offer triple tax advantages: deductible contributions, tax-free investment growth, and tax-free qualified medical withdrawals. To qualify for an HSA, you must be enrolled in a high-deductible health plan, which is not suitable for everyone. For 2025, HSA contribution limits reach $4,300 individually or $8,500 for families. When financially possible, pay medical expenses out of pocket and allow HSA investments to compound untouched for many years. Keep detailed medical receipts because reimbursements can be taken tax-free decades later without any expiration deadline. Over 30 years, this strategy alone can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in completely tax-free healthcare funds. Considering retirees often spend over $300,000 on healthcare, HSAs quietly eliminate a major retirement risk. After maximizing your HSA, return again to your 401k and increase contributions beyond previous levels. In 2025, most workers may contribute up to $23,500 annually into a 401k. Workers aged 50 or older can add catch-up contributions, allowing even higher total annual retirement savings limits. Combined IRA, HSA, and 401k contributions can shelter more than $35,000 each year from taxation. Despite these opportunities, most Americans save only about 6% of income, missing massive long-term compounding potential. Simply following this correct sequence already places you among the top savers, even without unusually high income. Each step builds logically. Emergency savings prevent panic, debt payoff stops losses, and employer matching guarantees returns. Tax-advantaged accounts then allow compounding to work uninterrupted, without yearly taxes slowing growth dramatically over time. Only after completing all these steps should you seriously consider investing through taxable brokerage accounts. Taxable accounts provide flexibility, but dividends and capital gains are taxed, reducing overall net investment returns. Many beginners mistakenly start here, believing flexibility equals intelligence, which often backfires financially over time. Taxable investing works best once your foundation is secure and all tax shelters are already fully utilized. These accounts are useful for early retirement bridges, home purchases, or goals before retirement account access. Understanding this order protects you from unnecessary taxes, stress, and avoidable long-term financial mistakes. Let's clearly recap the correct sequence so far, because clarity matters far more than complexity. First, build an emergency fund to shield your investments from unexpected life events and financial shocks. Second, eliminate high-interest debt to stop guaranteed losses that compound aggressively against your progress. Third, capture your employer match. securing instant returns no traditional market investment can reliably offer. Fourth, maximize IRA contributions to benefit from lower fees, flexibility, and long-term tax-advantaged growth. Quartet. Fifth, choose traditional Roth or a mix based on taxes, income trajectory, and future expectations. Sixth, use an HSA strategically if eligible, allowing healthcare savings to grow tax-free over decades. Seventh, return to your 401k and raise contributions beyond the matched percentage whenever possible. Only after all these foundational steps should taxable investing become part of your strategy. Most people reverse this order, which quietly costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Skipping foundations often forces people to sell investments during emergencies or accumulate high-interest debt again. A strong sequence creates resilience, allowing you to stay invested calmly through market volatility. This structure removes guesswork and replaces it with repeatable, proven financial decision-making habits. Even small amounts invested correctly often outperform larger sums invested randomly without structure. Boring steps produce powerful results when compounded consistently across long-time horizons. Wealth is rarely built through clever tricks, but through correct order, discipline, and patience. The sequence matters because every dollar should work as efficiently and safely as possible for you. When the order is right, investing feels calmer, more predictable, and far less stressful. This is how ordinary people quietly build extraordinary financial security over decades. Now let's continue by exploring how this correct order accelerates compounding across long-term investment timelines. Ain't easy. Now that the foundation is clear, let's examine how following the correct order dramatically accelerates long-term compounding growth. Compounding works best when money is protected from unnecessary taxes, penalties, and forced withdrawals during stressful moments. When steps are skipped, compounding weakens because money leaks through interest, taxes, and poor timing decisions. Correct sequence allows every dollar invested to stay invested longer, which is the true engine behind wealth creation. Many investors focus on returns alone, ignoring how order determines how much of those returns they actually keep. Paying off high-interest debt first removes a guaranteed drag that silently cancels out future investment gains. Emergency funds protect compounding by preventing panic selling when markets drop or life creates sudden expenses. Employer matching boosts compounding instantly, giving your investments a head start that markets cannot guarantee. Tax-advantaged accounts keep compounding uninterrupted, allowing growth to stack year after year without erosion. This is why order often matters more than choosing the perfect stock, fund, or asset allocation. Even average investments can outperform brilliant strategies if executed in the correct financial sequence. Compounding rewards patience, consistency, and structure far more than excitement or constant activity. Investors who skip steps often feel busy but make less progress because their money constantly fights headwinds. Following the correct order removes many of those headwinds before you ever chase higher returns. This approach also reduces emotional decision-making, which is one of the biggest enemies of long-term investing success. Quarter. When your foundation is strong, market volatility feels manageable instead of frightening or overwhelming. You stop reacting to headlines and start trusting a system designed to work across decades. That confidence allows you to stay invested when others panic, which dramatically improves long-term outcomes. The correct sequence transforms investing from a guessing game into a disciplined, repeatable process. Discipline matters more than brilliance because consistency compounds while impulsive decisions usually compound mistakes. Many people abandon investing because they experience stress created by skipping foundational steps early on. A proper sequence reduces stress by ensuring no single financial event can derail your entire plan. This is especially important during recessions, job changes, or unexpected medical or family emergencies. With a solid foundation, you rarely need to touch investments at the worst possible time. That alone can add hundreds of thousands to lifetime returns simply by avoiding bad timing. Compounding is not just mathematical, it is behavioral, rewarding those who remain consistent under pressure. The correct order supports good behavior by removing situations that force emotional decisions. Without debt pressure or emergencies, You gain the freedom to let investments do their work quietly. Over time, this calm consistency outperforms frantic attempts to outsmart the market repeatedly. Most wealthy investors are not smarter. They are simply more disciplined and better structured. They focus on controllable factors like savings rate, order, taxes, and behavior. Chasing performance feels productive, but structure is what actually builds wealth predictably. The correct sequence turns ordinary income into extraordinary long-term results through patience and planning. This is why following boring steps consistently often beats exciting strategies tried inconsistently. Once compounding gains momentum, small contributions begin producing surprisingly large outcomes. That momentum is fragile early on, which is why foundational protection matters so much. Skipping steps early delays momentum and makes future progress far harder than necessary. Proper sequence ensures compounding starts sooner, stronger, and with fewer interruptions. Over decades, this difference becomes dramatic. Even if yearly contributions seem modest, time rewards those who respect order, patience, and consistency more than those chasing shortcuts. Now let's look at how common mistakes break this sequence and quietly sabotage long-term financial progress. One major mistake is investing aggressively while still carrying expensive, high-interest consumer debt. Another is skipping emergency savings and relying on credit cards when life becomes unpredictable. Many people also ignore employer matching, assuming they will catch up later, which rarely happens. Others jump straight into taxable accounts without understanding how taxes quietly erode compounding. These mistakes feel small individually, but together they significantly reduce lifetime investment outcomes. The damage is rarely visible immediately, which is why people underestimate its long-term impact. Years later, they wonder why progress feels slow despite consistent investing effort. The answer is almost always sequence, not intelligence, effort, or income level. Fixing the order often produces dramatic improvement without changing how much you invest monthly. Let's slow down and examine the most common investing mistakes people make when they completely ignore proper financial sequence. Many investors begin by buying stocks or funds before building emergency savings or addressing dangerous high-interest debt. This creates fragile financial structures that collapse quickly when normal life disruptions or market volatility inevitably appear. Without a financial buffer, even small emergencies can force investors to sell assets at the worst possible moments. Forced selling locks in losses permanently and interrupts the compounding process meant to build long-term financial security. Another common mistake is severely underestimating how destructive high-interest debt is to overall investment progress. Carrying credit card balances while investing is like filling a bucket while water leaks continuously through holes. No realistic investment strategy can consistently overcome double-digit interest rates over extended periods of time. Many people justify this behavior by hoping market growth will eventually cancel out debt costs. Over time, this mathematical reality almost always works against them, regardless of optimism or effort. Skipping employer matching is another silent mistake that feels harmless, but compounds into massive missed opportunity. Employer matching provides immediate, guaranteed returns that markets simply cannot replicate reliably or consistently. Ignoring this benefit means rejecting free money that could dramatically accelerate early investment momentum. Tax-related mistakes are equally damaging, especially investing heavily in taxable accounts before using tax shelters. Taxes quietly drain returns every single year, weakening compounding far more than most investors realize initially. Over decades, tax drag can erase hundreds of thousands from otherwise identical investment strategies. These mistakes rarely feel painful immediately, which allows them to continue unnoticed for many years. Much later, people wonder why disciplined investing still produced disappointing and frustrating long-term results. The issue is rarely intelligence, effort, or income level. It is almost always sequence. Correcting order often improves outcomes faster than earning more money or chasing higher returns. This is encouraging news, because sequence is completely within your personal control starting today. You do not need expert knowledge, perfect timing, or high income to follow this structure. You only need consistency, patience, and willingness to prioritize boring but extremely powerful financial steps. When the order is correct, investing feels calmer, clearer, and far more predictable over time. Market volatility becomes background noise instead of a constant emotional threat demanding reaction. You stop reacting to headlines and begin trusting a system designed to work across decades. That trust allows compounding to work uninterrupted, which is where true wealth acceleration occurs. Over long-time horizons, calm investors consistently outperform emotional investors with similar resources. This proves sequence and behavior matter far more than complexity or clever financial strategies. Most real wealth is built quietly through discipline, not dramatic or exciting financial moves. Let's briefly recap the correct investing order so you can apply it immediately with confidence. First, build an emergency fund to protect investments from life's inevitable and unexpected surprises. Second, eliminate high-interest debt to stop guaranteed losses working directly against your progress. Third, capture full employer matching to secure instant, risk-free investment returns immediately. Fourth, maximize IRA contributions to benefit from tax advantages, flexibility, and lower investment fees. Fifth, choose traditional Roth or blended strategies carefully based on your current income level and realistic future tax expectations. Sixth, use an HSA strategically if eligible, allowing healthcare savings to compound tax-free across decades of future medical expenses. Seventh, return to your 401k and increase contributions beyond the employer match when your budget comfortably allows it. Only after completing these foundational steps should taxable investment accounts be funded to provide flexibility for non-retirement goals. Following this order ensures every dollar works efficiently instead of constantly fighting unnecessary taxes, debt interest, or financial pressure. Most people never learn this sequence, which explains why investing often feels confusing, overwhelming, and emotionally stressful. Once understood, many financial decisions become simpler, calmer, and far more automatic without constant second-guessing. You stop guessing what to do next and begin following a repeatable system designed for long-term success. This structure reduces stress, improves consistency, and dramatically increases the probability of reaching meaningful financial goals. Wealth rarely comes from excitement or clever tricks. It comes from structure applied patiently over long periods. Even modest contributions become powerful when combined with the correct order, disciplined behavior, and enough time. This approach rewards disciplined individuals, not those constantly chasing shortcuts, trends, or market predictions. Applying this sequence starting today can significantly change your long-term financial trajectory and confidence. Small actions executed correctly compound into life-changing financial results when sustained consistently over decades. Next, I'll help you turn this entire sequence into simple, practical actions you can start immediately. Let's recap the entire system one final time so you can remember it clearly and apply it confidently. First, build an emergency fund, because financial safety must always come before growth or investing. Second, eliminate high-interest debt so your money stops working against you every single month. Third, capture your employer match immediately, because ignoring free money quietly slows your progress. Fourth, prioritize tax-advantaged accounts to let compounding grow without unnecessary yearly tax drag. Only after completing these steps should taxable investment accounts be used for flexibility and future opportunities. This order removes confusion and replaces it with calm, logical decision-making you can repeat confidently. You do not need complicated strategies, insider knowledge, or constant market predictions to succeed. What you need is structure, consistency, and patience, applied in the correct sequence over time. If this video helped clarify your next step, please like it so more people can discover this guidance. Leave a comment sharing which step you are currently on or where you feel most stuck financially. I read the comments often, and your question may directly shape the next video I create. Share this video with someone who feels overwhelmed by investing or unsure where to begin properly. Many people struggle with money simply because no one ever explained the correct order clearly. Subscribing ensures you receive future videos breaking down money decisions step by step without hype. Shakadi. This channel focuses on clarity, discipline, and long-term thinking, not shortcuts or unrealistic promises. The boring steps done consistently are what separate financial stability from constant money stress. Your future self will thank you for choosing structure, patience, and intentional decisions today. Start small, follow the order, stay consistent, and let time quietly do the heavy lifting. Stay here with me, and together we'll build real financial security without confusion or unnecessary stress.